Well, good morning, everybody. It's been a while. I've been doing a bunch of construction remodel work in my kitchen, so haven't been able to get out here to the garage and get anything done. I went and picked up another project, believe it or not. It's a 85 YZ250. It the guy says it needs a top end. It needs all new plastics. This is it. It looks kind of rough, but won't take a lot of money to get it looking back good again. He's got duct tape on the carburetor because the air box isn't in there. And I noticed that almost all the bolts for the head are off. So I'm gonna take and I'll pull the top end off and scope it out. The part that goes between the muffler and the exhaust is missing. It's mostly there, but for the price I got it for, I couldn't afford not to get it. So let's get this thing unloaded and in the garage. Sorry about the lighting. It's looking out of my garage, it's looking right into the sun. So let me see if I can get this unloaded without blowing out my back window. I already took the back straps off, got the ramp set up. Figure you guys wouldn't need to see all that garbage. All right, here we go. Do a walk around. Like I said, looks like almost all the nuts or the hold the head on are off. One thing I did notice, it doesn't have the correct kickstart lever on here. I don't know what that came off of. It's got doesn't really have any compression. But you can barely make it out on the exhaust. It's an FMF exhaust on there. It's got a nice big dent in it, but I got a thing to pull that out. Seat cover's roached. I put a new seat cover on it, new plastics. Yeah, be another one to work on and check out. So let me go ahead and get this thing up on my stand, and I'll bring it back in a minute. Okay, we're back. I went ahead and I pulled the bolts out of the seat so we can get this off of here. Everything was really kind of loose. The bolts and stuff were just kind of like finger tight. There is no strap on the gas tank. I guess that just lifts up off of there. Yep. There's gas in it. There's a fin here on the end. One radiator that's missing. Like I said, all the nuts and bolts that hold all this stuff on are just like finger tight. The throttle cable, check this out. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's pretty jacked up. And This wire here comes up. Oh, there's a little, it looks like a little switch right there. They must have, okay, that must be for the kill switch because there's no kill switch up on the handlebars. Talk about hokey here. Oh well. Like I said, it's it'll come back to life. Let's get this thing. Get some of this stuff off of here. Let me get a socket. I gotta try to remember not to put my back in the middle of the shot. I noticed on some of my other videos, all you see is my back or my butt. So I need to do things different. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. He must have stuck, for some reason, there's a big heavy-duty extension in this one line right here. Looks pretty clean. Maybe he power washed it or something, and that's why this is taped off and that's in there. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like this is the wires that would go here. Yeah, black with a white tracer, and a solid black. Yeah, so that would be the kill switch. It's got a wire taped up right here. Must have had it to there, so that was basically an on-off switch. Okay, well, let me get this off of here. Oh, that's a Craftsman extension. I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah, a little extra. Box to throw some stuff in. Let me pull that spark plug out. Oh, that's not even tight. Yeah, there's only two nuts holding the head on. He said he was riding it and he took off to go riding, and it just kind of like started, made all kinds of horrible noise in the top end and just died. Now, he didn't say anything to me about pulling the top end apart, but it's evident that somebody did. I don't even know if it got sparked. Let me come around this side and see what it does. I don't see any spark, but when I kick it, it's just one smooth shoop. Let me get a wrench to pull that nut off of the exhaust. Looked like it was about a 13. That's not even tight. Yeah, must have just taken and put everything back in finger tight. This exhaust mount has been okay. That comes right off. No springs. Let me bring around this side and show you that evidently broke the exhaust. The rubber on the exhaust mount broke off. So they just kind of Mickey Mouse MacGyvered it right there. And the inside of the muffler's all broke out. And it does have the FMF turbine muffler on it. But let's continue on the journey here. I'll see if I can just do all the work on this side. That way I'm out of your way. Bet you these are only hand tight. Yep. Oh, this could be interesting. Let's pull this head off of here. He did give me some boxes with some little parts and stuff in them. A lot of nuts and bolts. Let's see if I can get you closer in here on this head when I pull it off. See if you guys can see what's going on here. That's coming off real easy. Oh, no way. There's water, some water in there. Let me get a rag. Ah, it looks like it broke a ring. Look at all the nicks and stuff around that. I don't know if you can see them. Top of the piston. Yeah, there's looks like it took out a ring. In fact, it looks like a chunk of it right there. Let's see. That's why it's got no compression, there's no ring. Okay, that's all the way at the bottom. Okay. I feel absolutely no scoring, no grooves, anything inside on that cylinder. No lines. Let me get a flashlight so I can look in there really good. All I can see is what looks like some wear marks. Oh, there's something that, yeah, I catch my fingernail on that little, it's got a scratch just above the exhaust port. That might come out with a hone. Yeah, it's only like maybe 3/16 of an inch long. Nothing anywhere else. Let me bring this up to where I could look in the exhaust port and see if I can see a ring. I went too far. Well, I can see 2 rings in there. That don't mean that they didn't break in the back. All right, so that means we're gonna have to pull the barrel off. But let's check the oil, see if it's got anything in it, and see if it might have any water in it. Let me get something for a dipstick. Aha, this'll work. Good old zip tie dipsticks. Never leave home without them. All right. Oh yeah, it's got oil. And it's real clean, there's no milkiness to it. So, and this engine's super clean, there's water. Actually, there was water dripping on it when I had it sitting, when I pulled up and parked. So he probably just steam or power washed it a little bit before I got there to pick it up. But what is with this Kickstarter? What the heck could that have come off of? That's crazy. Okay, well, anyways, let me reset you up different here and I'll get the oil drained, and gonna have to drain the oil anyways, and we'll get this top end pulled off. So I'll bring you back in just a bit when I get everything set up. Okay, I went to get a wrench to take the drain bolt out, but as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, it's pretty boogered up. So I'm gonna have to use channel locks to get that out of there. So let me get that. I'm all set up on this other side over here. Let me see. Oh, it came right out. Oh, that's gonna, something on the list. A new drain bolt. Oil looks brand new. Yeah, that oil looks like it's brand new. I don't see any metallic flakes in there. Starting to slow down. I hope it does. Empty out my pan here. I was looking at this carburetor, and that's a square. It's not a round slide. Now my understanding is these had round slide carburetors on them. And there's no markings on this carburetor whatsoever. It doesn't have any name on it. So I'm thinking it's a Chinese carburetor. No? What does that say right there? It's got something written or embossed on the side of the carburetor where the choke, oh, okay, all it says is choke. But there is no name on this carburetor. So it's gotta be a Chinese carburetor. And that's probably why the cable is so boogered up at the cap. I'm gonna have to research that a little bit more, but I think that's one of those cheap Chinese carburetors on this thing. Oh, the oil's slowing down. Where to put that boogered up drain plug? Thought I dropped it in this box. There it is. I got a box here. It's got all kinds of little hose clamps and spring and nuts and bolts and washers. It looks like all the rest of the head bolts are in there. I'll transfer everything out of this big box that I started using to that little box. Yeah, that oil got a little bit of a reddish tint to it. Well, let's see. Let me get you set up and we'll start pulling this carburetor off. Don't laugh too hard. That's not even tight. There it goes. Yeah, this has got to be a, oh, it's a PWK. I'll have to research this and see what it has, what it talks about or what it has to say about that. Oh, go ahead and pull all these reeds off. This is all going to have to come apart anyways. All right, I'll bring you all back when I get this reed block off. Well, I got the reed off. Here's the reed block. Everything on it looks really good. The reeds look real good. Well, actually, they don't. I can see daylight in between the reeds. So that's no good. They're all weak. They need replacing. So it needs new reeds. So that would make it run a little bad. So let me go ahead and start working to get this top end off. If I remember right, I think I have to pull that cap out so I can undo this end of the power valve. And I need to disconnect all that case right there for the power valve. There's a rod inside. Let me go ahead and get the tools gathered up that I'm going to need, and I'll bring you back on that in a minute. All right, let's pull this cover off. Oh, that's loose. This one's got a washer on it. That one there wasn't even tight. Wonder how much he went into this top end. A little tap tap. Okay. That's pretty dirty. And so there is nothing inside there that I need to pull off. There is no gasket on here. Yeah, there's no gasket on that at all. Okay, let's come back around the other side. I'll set you up on this side here. I don't know what's loose and what's not over here on this thing. That's tight. I'm just going to use my impact. Best to use the oh, there's one screw I can see right there that's stripped out. Love it when the tip sticks in there. Back you up here, I gotta get some swinging room. That's loose. There's that. Might as well pull all these off. Check the water pump housing. All right. Okay, I'm back. Let's go ahead and get this Kickstarter off of here. That nut was real loose. Okay. Now, this case has been welded up, and there is a bolt in there in the back that has been ground off because they used the wrong Kickstarter. They ground that off so it wouldn't hit in the case. And I don't think there's any way I'm gonna be able to get that out of there. How am I supposed to get that off? It's got the groove for the bolt in the shaft. Talk about Mickey Mouse. Go through all that trouble to Mickey Mouse something other than just getting the correct part for it. That is just ridiculous. Yeah, I can see it right there. That's just crazy. Now, if I tie that down there, get my drill motor, and start to drill that out, will that back that nut, that screw out of there? Well, we'll deal with that later. Jeez. Some people, I swear. Okay, let's get this power valve stuff off of here. Let me get another pan just in case it drips oil or water, whatever. Okay. Let me get my mallet. All right, let's see. I think that 10mm, all that is drain, maybe? Let me pull that off and check. The plate still seems pretty tight. Yeah, look, there's some water dripping out. So this must just be the drain for the cooling system. It sounds loose. Oh, what is that? There's one more down there. Let me just pull all these screws out. This one's all eaten up. It looks like they even tried to grab it with some pliers. There's that. Evidently that was just a case screw. Let me take this clutch cable off. All right, let's get this all apart. That's pretty nasty. Get that retainer off there. I'm going to get a box and put all these little pieces in that come off of the power valve. I'll stick them right there for now. Boy, that is some nasty stuff in there. Pull the cylinder off. I'm going to worry about getting that power valve off once I get the cylinder off. Got 4 14mm nuts that hold it on down here. I'm surprised these are actually tight. Everything else has been just loose as anything. It's going to be interesting to see everything on that piston. I'm going to have to cut this video short in a little bit. Believe it or not, I just got a phone call. Well, actually, I got a message from a guy that has an 86 YZ250 that I've been talking with. We've been going back and forth on price. It needs a carburetor. He said it's got really good compression. It's just been parked for a long time. It needs a carburetor and the fuel in the gas tank. And it's another one of those deals where you can't really afford not to go and pick it up, if you know what I'm talking about. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. There still are deals out there that you can run into that are like that. I mean, even if I part it out, I won't lose any money. Just selling all the parts off of it, I can still make my money back on it. It's got all the plastics. All the plastics look really good. The gas tank is just like the whole center section on the top is just blown out. He was going to part it out, and I asked him, I said, well, how much you want for the whole bike? And he gave me a price. And I said, you know what, I'll pass. Then he got back with me and had lowered the price. Asked me if I was still interested, and I never answered him. About probably a week went by, and I made an offer, and he made a counter offer, which was fine. Like, yeah, I'll take it. I said, I'll be over in the morning. And he just got with me a little bit ago. I'm gonna go pick it up in a little while. This puppy's on there tight. There, now it's moving. Okay, come up off of there, big boy. It's tight right there on that one. Let me get my persuader out here. There it comes. All right. Cylinder is off. Let's wipe this piston off. Take a look at it. That's strange. The ring is not bent. Let me get this top dead center. Hey everyone, it's the next day. I don't know what happened to the last clip that I had from this 85 YZ250, but there was no sound and it was blank. So I think my camera died. Anyways, it's the next day. This is going to be part 1 of the 85 Yamaha YZ250. Come to find out, the rod had gone out. You can barely move it on the crank. I'm thinking that maybe one of the rod bearings came up through the transfer ports, and that's what hammered the top of the piston and the inside of the head. Let me get you down here. Maybe, I don't know, the sun might be jacking it up, but there's the piston. You can see chunks still in there. The rod, piston moves on the top of the rod, but the rod is really hard to move on the crank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this motor apart, pull the crank out, get a rod kit for it. There's a gentleman that I'm friends with. He's also has a YouTube channel, Dale Swagger. Go check him out and subscribe. He is phenomenal with engines. He redoes cranks, he bores cylinders. So I'm going to get a hold of him once I get this crank out and see what he says about rebuilding this thing for me. But anyways, this will be the end of part 1 on the 85 YZ250. If you like what you see so far, go ahead and give me a like. If you don't mind subscribing, drop some comments down below on what you want to see me do with this bike. Actually, I was thinking about seeing if my 78 Mach 11 Bull Taco 250 Perseg motor might fit in this chassis. Now that would be an awesome bike. So let me know what you think, and you all have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later.